getting internet warnings. So the sooner we can make, I'm getting warnings about slow internet. So the sooner we can make that announcement.
Okay.
Tim is live streaming this, and if you would please put your phones in airplane mode because he's having trouble. It has a slow internet, and many of you know that Comcast was out for the last hour, but it's
yes.
AT&T here, luckily. But if you could all put your phones in airplane mode, we're going to start in about 7 minutes because Gordon Ross was a stickler about starting on time. Thank you, guys.
Yeah, it's because we're on cellular. Yeah, thank you guys. There are a lot of phones trying to connect. Thanks, everybody. Or turn them off.
your seats, please. It is 7 o'clock on the nose, and Gordon Ross was the biggest stickler about starting on time. And believe me, he's up there kicking me going, get this thing started. So please take your seats. Welcome, everybody. What a great crowd we've got tonight. This is going to be a trip down memory lane for a lot of you. We have all these friends on stage and family here tonight. We have video clips we're going to show. It's going to be a really special evening celebrating this wonderful friend of ours, Gordon Ross. And give Gordon a hand. But to start tonight, I would like to invite Reverend Sarah Fowler, who's going to say a few words.
God, we gather to celebrate the beautiful life of Gordon Ross. And what a life it was and continues to be. Wherever he is, I know there's joy. Thank you for the time we had with him, for the joy that he brought, for the love that remains. Grant comfort in our hearts. Fill us with your peace as we remember and give thanks for a life well lived. Well lived. Gracious God, we take comfort knowing our loved one, Gordon, is in your presence. Let the truth calm our hearts and lift our spirits as we celebrate a life now complete. In memory and praise, Almighty God, we rejoice in your promise of love, joy, and peace. Turn sorrows of pardoning into the joy of your presence through our Lord. I imagine a person's life is like a beautiful decoration balloon, tethered by a cord to the earth. It is buffeted by every breeze and strains at the restraint, but sometimes harsh movements. Suddenly, a moment comes when the cord is released and the balloon lifts. No longer fighting the wind, it is lifting high upon the graceful and dancing with the heavenly movements. From eternity point of view, becomes smaller and smaller until it fades from sight. We feel our loss until I remember that the balloon itself is not becoming smaller as it lifts, but larger and larger. The essence of the balloon, what made it a balloon, becomes a total free and part of the air that touches the face, the power that moves the clouds. In the same way, soul merges with omnipresence, creator of life, and is a part of the goodness of God. And that's Gordon. He's a balloon wherever he is, he's floating high. We know that. And everywhere that he touches. Amen.
Well, it was our lucky day here in Key West when Gordon Ross, actually then it was Gordon Bondison, came here in 1970, 55 years ago. Now, how did Gordon get to Key West? Well, let's hear from Gordon in his own words.
I arrived here on August 26th, 1970 at 6:35 p.m. And how I know that is because there was a little digital blinking sign in front of the Holiday Inn, and it was too early to have Holiday Inn Expresses, just a plain Holiday Inn, when my family and I pulled in to set me up to come to college down here. By then it was the junior college of the Florida Keys, and checked it out, and then again on August 26, 1970, I arrived, and the rest, as they say, is history. Looking on a map, I thought, oh, well, this will be great because I can drive to Miami every day after school. Because it looks so close on the map.
In 1970, now Gordon mentioned that his mom and dad brought him here. I'm sure many of you remember Gordon's mom, Mary Jane. The last year she stayed here with Gordon, she was here living here. Gordon was a wonderful son. He took her everywhere, introduced her to all of us. And Gordon was very close with his family, and we have his family here tonight in the front 2 rows. And I want to ask Gordon's sister Karen and brother Kevin to come on up and say a couple words about their brother.
speech. I don't like long speeches either. So, I'm the youngest, Kevin, my sister Karen. We're really honored to be here. We thank everybody for coming. Excuse me for reading it. Particular thank you to our extended family. So if you may not know, I'm the youngest brother, Kevin. So it's going to be difficult. Now, Gordon was a cherished part of Key West. We come from the west side of Cleveland, Ohio. We're blessed to grow up together. Wonderful parents who passed away some years ago. Being the youngest of three, maybe the one that needed the most watching. That would be me. Gordon was frequently assigned to manage me. I'm not aware of him ever complaining. He always looked out for me. One little occasion I do want to lay out, it's kind of fun. It was unique and yet it reflects Gordon. We were going to go to the Beatles concert. 1,000 screaming teenagers. Well, I went and I was lucky because I cried long enough that my mother, Mary Jane, made them take me. I was only about 10 or 11 years old, but I remember it. Gordon never let go of my collar, never. Otherwise, I was going to be trampled by all those screaming teenagers. And anybody who been to those concerts, you didn't hear much music. You just heard the screaming, but it was fun. And Gordon always looked out for me. Both Karen and I have many loving memories growing up together. And I just want to be brief to wrap it up, because again, I don't like long speeches. But Karen in Texas, before that, Tennessee, Gordon, of course, here, the fabric of Key West, the cherished fabric of Key West. Myself in Virginia with my family, lived hundreds of miles apart. Beyond that, we always stayed in loving contact. Gordon and I, for many years, would have telephone conversations every other week. Similarly, Karen and Gordon would stay close contact by telephone and in-person trips. Gordon always reflected that love and energy that he always had. And I summarized with the last words he said to me, "I love you madly, Kevin."
Thank you, Kevin. That was lovely. I want to thank Bobby for putting this beautiful event together, and to thank all of you for coming and paying tribute and celebrating my brother's life. Gordon was an amazing person who touched so many of us. His fundraising and dedication to his passion projects is an inspiration to us all. He amazed me on how he kept in contact with all his friends he made throughout his life, his high school friends. Everything was still in contact with them, whether it was through Facebook, a daily phone call, a text, or a simple handwritten note. He loved his handwritten notes. He will never be gone from us. His spirit and love of life will continue through us all with our shared memories. So please go out and live your best life and keep sharing.
Well, you know, Gordon wore many hats here in Key West, and probably most of you know him best as an entertainer. Gordon was a fantastic entertainer, a real showman, and for 19 years, Gordon put on this big spectacular called Gordon Ross and Friends. It was a benefit for AIDS help, and it raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for much-needed dollars for that organization. And we put on this massive show, and it always sold out. It was so eagerly awaited. Now, we have a clip from the very, very first Gordon Ross and Friends. This is 37 years ago in 1988. And we have Gordon and two people on stage tonight, Vicki Rausch and Perry Haley. You were Perry Haley back then. You were Perry Haley. They haven't seen this yet. This is 1988. Phantom of the Opera had just opened on Broadway. And here are the three of them doing a number from Phantom of the Opera, the very first Gordon Ross and Friends. And if you ask her very nicely, she will hit that high note for you. Now, that young lady that you saw in the beginning singing Think of Me is one of Gordon's best friends and also a singing partner. The two of them, Harry and Gordon, formed an act called Luxury Items, and they performed all over town, every fundraiser, every benefit. And gosh, we haven't seen Perry in such a long time. She and her husband Nikki live in Ithaca, New York now, but they came in tonight, and I'd like to ask Perry to say a few words. Perry, please.
Well, yes, you did. Thanks, Bobby. So I moved to Key West in 1979, and I got a job at the new Green Street Theater, started by Roddy and Rita Brown. My recollection, and things were a little fuzzy back then, but my recollection was that the first show that we did was Cabaret. And I was cast as Fraulein Kost, the nice Nazi hooker who lived next door, and also one of the Kit Kat girls. Gordon, who I thought would be a Kit Kat girl, was actually brought in to do hair and makeup for us. So when Gordon and I first met, it was immediate trouble. Good, fun, wild trouble. I was new to his island, and he stepped in as my tour guide. Buckle up, he would say in his best Betty David voice. Though we didn't perform together in Cabaret, there were to be many other shows later where we did perform together, a few. Gordon hadn't done a lot of musical stage productions, but he was a natural. It was the 80s, so, and though Gordon was a well-known female impersonator, he decided that we should put together a singing duo and hit the clubs. He said, maybe it's time I start to sing on stage as a boy. Okay, Gordon? So Gordon had that fabulous voice, and I was thrilled to get to sing with him. He introduced me to the Monster, the Copa, and even Saloon 1. Okay, so I don't know how the clubs do it now, but back then you wouldn't start singing till 1 o'clock in the morning. It was crazy, exciting, and a wild time. Gordon was local royalty, welcomed everywhere, and I got to tag along. Throughout the years, Gordon and I worked on a number of other projects. We did Pretenders in Paradise at the Pier House during Fantasy Fest, and even after I got married and moved north, I would come back to perform in the Friends of Gordon Ross Benefit for AIDS Help. He was so needed funds. Gordon was a wonderful friend, and even after I moved, we kept in close touch. I was thrilled when he agreed to be the godpapa to my 2 children, and he was an attentive, caring, and outrageously wonderful godfather. It's so hard to accept that this vibrant, curious, talented, opinionated spirit is not with us anymore. I'm having trouble wrapping my brain and my heart around it. So I will end on what I'm focusing on, and that is what I'm grateful for. I'm grateful that my children got to know Gordon. He was a wonderful godpapa, and that he was in their lives meant a lot to me. I'm so grateful that I got to perform with Gordon. Being on stage with him was the best. He pushed me, and he annoyed me, and he made me a better performer, and he taught me how to paint a good face. I'm so grateful that he got to go to the Tulip Festival in Amsterdam, and then to Italy. He was determined to make that trip. And when the shit hit the fan, I'm so grateful that he had Matthew by his side. Wonderful Matthew, who was with him till the very end. And as my heart broke, I took comfort that Matthew was there with him. I guess I'm just grateful that for 46 years I had Gordon in my life. I'll focus on that.
So we have one more clip from those early years. In other words, put putting on the Ritz, and we have just Gordon and Perry doing just a small clip from the second year. This is 1989. Look how cute you two look at this. Really. Well, so many of Gordon's best friends were his fellow entertainers, and none more than this next speaker. She and Gordon have a long history together. Ladies and gentlemen, I say this is Key West's funniest lady, Jerry Louise Gates.
I'm limping a little bit because I had a sciatica shot today, so I'm a little nervous. That's how old we become. Just that word, sciatica. Anyway, I'm brokenhearted. Gordon is gone, and part of me still doesn't believe it. I still think he's in Italy. But Gordon and I met in 1978 in Provincetown, Massachusetts. As my father said, why are you always going to these end-of-the-world homosexual villages? So, Gordon also performed in Provincetown, and he was doing quite a big show for him at the Gay House. And every day we would go to the Boatslip Pool, and we would sit there, it'd be me and 25 other queens in Provincetown. And, you know, I was always cracking jokes and being funny and blah, 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 but I never performed. I never even dreamed of performing. And Gordon said to me, listen, would you open for my show? And I said, what? And he said, no, you're really funny. Just do some stand-up stuff and come in between my costume change. So Gordon created this monster, not me.
Yeah!
Gordon is responsible for me being funnier than I was, doing stand-up comedy, making a little bit of a career out of it, and doing really well for myself in a beautiful town like Key West. I met Bobby in that year, I met Gordon, I met Michael St. Laurent, I met Albert Osterman, who was the first person to buy a house down here. He invited me down and arranged a comedy show at Claire Restaurant for me. And when I first came here, of course it was great, I was drunk and high the whole time. What do you people do besides dance at Downey? Any mood you were in. You wanted a piano bar, Bobby was there. You wanted upstairs a movie, you could go there. You wanted to be outside, you could go see Ricky Fessler, you could go see Gordon Ross. We were so blessed to be in a place like this. Of course, our parents hated it, because we had all just graduated college, and there went that 30 grand. So I thought about it the other day, and I said, you know what? My comedy career, it's because Gordon gave me that break. Gordon saw something in me and said, and then of course, once you're on stage and you make people laugh, you've got the bug. And he always put me in Gordon Ross and Friends. A lot of times he didn't like that I opened Act 2, but I got pushy. I have pictures of us doing very naughty things. About snorting cocaine. And bring them back to Key West that winter and show everybody, and Gordon was so mad at me. And so every time Gordon teased me or whatever, I'd say, I still have those pictures. Now that you're a big shot director at one of these nonprofits, I'll be happy to bring them out. And then my favorite thing of Gordon, God bless his soul, the year before he left us, he made cards that said, stop talking. When I'm waiting on customers at the store I work for, if they knew how many times in my brain I am saying, stop talking. Are you buying the $90 blouse or aren't you? If not, please get out. And I learned a lot of that sarcasm from Gordon. So I'm very grateful, and I want you to do me a favor. Next time I make you laugh, or not make you laugh, or piss you off, think about Gordon for a minute or two.
Okay, so we have one more clip from Gordon Ross and Friends now. And I said, Gordon, why don't you make it an even 20, a nice round number? But Gordon said, no, I think it's time to stop. I know it's time to stop. And he was right. And this is a clip lower, but it's really Gordon as a showman singing that old song, Shine on Harvest Moon. Well, that was Gordon. That was the last 2 years. Next year, we were neighbors on Francis Street. And if you were there in the mid-70s, late 70s, early 80s, you know that the center of the universe was that famous nightclub on Front Street called The Monster. Where the Hartswick is now, actually. So I'm sure some of you out here do remember The Monster. If you were here, you do remember The Monster. And you know, because it was the 70s, yes. Because it was the 70s, there may be some of you out here that were The Monster but don't remember it. So he actually started performing shows even before I was in town. He at Captain Tony's of all places. But then he was at Delmonico's and The Monster. And at that time, Gordon was lip syncing. And then he said to me, you know, I'd like to use my own voice. He said, would you play piano for me? And I said, sure. So it started this long association that Gordon and I had doing shows together. And he was always funny about his voice. He would say, Bobby, play it in the key of Z. That's the key I sing it in. And then we always had that line. He would say to me, Bobby, what key should I sing this in? And I'd say, how about key larger where we can't hear you? Still works. 4 years later. Well, so I can't tell you how many shows Gordon and I did in The Monster, and I'm so happy tonight that one of the original owners of The Monster is here. Judy McGrath is here from North Carolina. Did his excellent documentary called No Closet Space. He interviewed Judy about this time, this magical time at The Monster. And we're showing a clip now, because here's what Judy said about Gordon Ross.
Gordon Ross was was brilliant. He was always involved in everything, and we knew him just as he was a monster. He never worked with us, but he was always there and always part of the shows and everything, and always deeply involved in everything. After I came, the last couple times that I'd come back to Key West to visit and see Regretto and see Gordon, and oh my gosh, we would laugh so much thinking of stuff and remembering all sorts of things that were scandalous or funny. And yeah, Gordon was, I can't describe. He was Key West. He was, if one person can symbolize the whole spirit and feeling about Key West, Gordon would be one.
Am I off? No. He epitomized Key West. I always say Gordon was Key West's best friend. So when Tim was doing the documentary, Gordon and I were the narrators. And for one segment, Tim took us back to the monster, now Hog's Breath. And I don't think either one of us had been there in 40 years. So we're going to show you this little clip of Gordon and I going back where it all started over 40 years ago. This is also followed by a clip at the end of the documentary where we're at La Vida, and Gordon really sums up what is so special about Key West. So here we are, going back to the monster.
Gordon, how many times did we come through this gate?
This was the main entrance on Front Street to the monster, which obviously is not, because the patrons would not walk now past.
If it was the digital age, the camera could have caught a lot of people coming and going.
A line, constantly.
Carefully walking in and carefully being poured out.
Right.
Not me, no, but...
When Gordon Ross and I used to play for them, and he would do
yes, we would do
great
live show, which they did
live, exactly.
And I think you're going to find in Key West, if you get to know some local people, and especially the Conks that have always been so loving, and go off the beaten path, you're going to get what they call sand in your shoes.
Yeah.
But there's not a place in the world that hasn't changed.
Right.
Everything works into different things.
Right.
Key West keeps its special meaning.
Yeah. Key West keeps its special meaning. Well, Gordon was a fantastic entertainer, of course, but it didn't pay the rent. So he had a day job. When I met Gordon, he was a waiter. He was working at Port Richard's Buttery. Do you remember the Buttery? And he was working at La Vida and also Louis' Backyard. And then Gordon entered the corporate world. He used his PR knowledge and his fundraising. He worked at the hospital. He worked at the Pier House, and then he found a real home for 15 years at the Mark House, where Gordon was the fundraiser for the Mark House. And all these things that we've been to so many times for the Mark House, Gordon started, and it all came from his creative mind. Think of the pumpkin patch, which we just had for Halloween, the world's smallest parade, the ice cream social, the Christmas tree auction, and the big one, the Master Chef's Classic. That was all from the mind of Gordon Ross. Now, Diane Flanard is out here tonight, the executive director of the Mark House, and I was talking to her, and she told me that in the 15 years that Gordon worked at the Mark House, he raised just shy of $2 million. He was best friend. Well, when Gordon was working at the Mark House, he also took a second job and found a second home up the street at the Island House, where he was behind the front desk greeting people from around the world. And I'd like to welcome Paul Murray tonight, who's the assistant.
You may notice the cardboard cutout to my left here. I was carrying Gordon down Fleming Street just a couple of hours ago. Of course, the wind came up, knocked into the bushes, and we had to kind of patch them together again. remarkable evening. I'm indeed very, very touched by the emotion, the gratitude, the friendship of everybody in this room. Everybody that I'm looking at right now has in some way, shape, or form been associated with Gordon, whether it be on a social level, entertainment level. He was truly a remarkable, to coin a phrase, remarkable individual. 32 years ago, it was at the Copa. I attended an event called Gordon Ross and Friends. I purchased a table up front and so excited to become part of the Key West Dream, the Key West Entertainment Center, and everything that was Key West. Gordon came out on stage very sparkly and very, very frisky, shall we say. And his first opening number was a Madonna number. I was the queen of Madonna disco back in those days. I loved Madonna. And all of a sudden, Gordon started singing Madonna in this incredible baritone voice. As the show proceeded, and of course Key West was rich in entertainers back then, Gordon proceeded to do 2 more Madonna numbers. At the end of the show, I did not want to hear another Madonna song. That was 32 years ago. Fast forward. Early 2008, 2009, I ran into Gordon again. I started working at the Island House, which is the true love of my life. And as you can see, we're well represented with the Island House tonight. Bobby in the back, Jeff, James, Chris. So nice to have you guys here. And I worked side by side with Gordon for 17 years. Sometimes as much as 40 hours a week. You get to know someone very, very well when you spend that much time together. He was sassy, he was quirky, he was an incredible individual, he was genuine. But he let you know that he was in charge. In any case, I could spend all night long talking Gordon stories. I will share those with you in private if anybody. But suffice it to say, so much has been said tonight. I think we all, as I said earlier, we are all so touched from this remarkable man. Over the years, we shared much joy together. We laughed, we cried, we solved the world's problems. And as life moved on, I got to become very, very close to Gordon in all respects. He shared so many secrets with me, and I'm just so thrilled that I had the pleasure to get to know him. Recently, when he became ill overseas, he sent me a text, and this is the type of person Gordon was. He said, "You know, Paul, I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to come back and make the schedule next Monday." And then later on, he sent me another text. He said, "You know, when I come back, maybe I should just go part-time." As I said earlier, I could talk and talk for hours of this. He is, of course, smiling down on us right now, along with many of our other departed friends. And I thank you, Gordon, for all the good times. We're all going to see you soon. Thank you all for sharing in this remarkable evening. We'll all go home touched tonight, knowing that we gave Gordon the most blessed celebration of his life. Thank you.
He was a proud board member of this lovely place we are sitting in tonight, Williams Hall. Gordon was on the board. He loved being on the board. He lent his expertise with fundraising and ideas, creativity to this place. He really was proud to be associated with Williams Hall. And Michael Marrero is here. He is the executive director of Williams Hall, and he's going to read something that Maria wrote.
Thank you. Evening. On behalf of our board chair, Maria Sharp, who couldn't be here tonight, I'm honored to share her words about our friend and fellow board member, Gordon Ross. Gordon never needed a microphone to fill a room. He was the room, the spirit that could light up even the quietest corner of Key West. By the time he joined our board, he had already given decades of himself to this island. Singer, entertainer, host, storyteller. But his real gift wasn't performing for people, it was showing up for people. When he came to Williams Hall, it felt less like an appointment and more like a homecoming. He brought ideas, energy, and that unmistakable flair, reminding us that service can be an art form. He believed that what happens within these walls, the sense of spirit, the art, the music, the learning, the laughter, has the power to lift and unite the community. And that's exactly what he did. He lifted us. So tonight, as we celebrate his life, let's do what he did best, show up. For one another, for this community, for the things that make Key West what it is. Here's to Gordon Ross, a true original, a generous soul, a man who gave this island his own soundtrack. May we keep singing it together for years to come.
I said already how so many of Gordon's best friends were his fellow entertainers, and we have two of them right here on stage tonight, Vicki Roush and Lauren Breakweller here. Unfortunately, they don't live here anymore, but they're in town. They're doing a show Thursday night at Tennessee Williams, and I asked if they would sing this song tonight. I know Gordon loved this song. This is from the Broadway musical Wicked. And it really exemplifies Gordon, what he meant to all of us, what he meant to this community. Vicki and Laurie.
Yeah.
Bringing something we must
changed for good. That is really a hard act to follow. So we're going to wind things up here. Before we do, I do have some acknowledgments to make. I want to thank, first of all, everybody at this wonderful establishment, Williams Hall. It starts at the top, the guardianship of Robin Maria Sharp, and you met Mike Marrero, our executive director, and a guy that has done unbelievable work tonight. Up there in the booth, the tech director, Brandon Beach, who is doing the lights, the sound, the videos, everything. Thank you so much. And I do want to thank Matthew Croft, who put over 500 pictures together for this live show today. Thank you very much here in the front row. You cannot believe all Tim Doms did. You know, Gordon never threw anything out. And he had stacks of VCR tapes of all these shows. And Tim Doms is the only person I know that still owns a VCR. And so we sat through hours looking through these clips to figure out, Tim, thank you so much. Now, yes. You know, immediately following, there's a reception upstairs, courtesy of Williams Hall and the Island House. Thank you very much. Now, I don't know if we're all going to fit up there, so get a glass of wine, a little bite to eat, and we'll kind of mingle downstairs. They're all over the place, but you are very welcome. You can tell some Gordon stories. And we actually do have a couple mementos for you tonight, a little souvenir to take home. You are all receiving a life-size cutout of Gordon Williams. But we do have, wait a minute, I gotta grab it. This poster, this is a wonderful poster. Have you seen it? Gordon saw this in his shop, and you can all grab it. This is based on the New Yorker cover. It's a wonderful poster. We have them upstairs. Please grab one if you'd like. And we do have a wonderful souvenir. Betty Rubenstein had refrigerator magnets made. These fridge magnets are so cute. And the face of Gordon, you have seen it 100 times. It's like he's saying, really, girl? Really? So, grab one of those. Thank you, everybody. Your heartfelt talks, they were really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you all out here for coming. You literally came from across the country. And finally, Gordon Ross, thank you. You raised the bar for compassion and fundraising and just friendship. And we love you, and boy, do we miss you. Thank you.